Okay guys, right, so this is actually technically the first video I'm ever recording on this engine rebuild, because I've got nothing to do, so I'm going to do it now. All I'm going to do is show you how to clean valves. The reason behind this is simple. This is an old bike. I don't know when it was last pulled apart, if ever, to be honest, looking inside it. And after a while you will get a build-up of carbon. You'll see it if you're in there. You get it on your piston crowns, your cylinder head, well, pretty much anywhere in the expansion chamber, where it goes bang. My head goes blank. I swear down, every time I turn the camera on, it just goes. So this is the dirty one. Let's see, put my hand in the right place, dickhead. You can see, I will put a photo up to show you the difference, and this is a clean one. Basically it gets a ridge, so that obviously will affect flow of your fuel air mixture. Always when you're taking your valves out, mark them. This one E8, so it is E8, I thought it could be. Alright. Obviously that's exhaust valve number 8, so I'll take this off and then I'll remark it when I put them back in the little box for later, which for you will be seconds, for me it's probably months. Right, all you need for this is a drill. Right, some wet and dry. I've got two lots here. I've got some really cheap, nasty, this is what they call extra fine, but it's not. Oh, this 400, that. Probably could do it with something coarser, but right. And all you do, now you have to make sure you don't go too far up, because obviously that's going into the valve guide and the oil seal, so you only want to be on this rough bit at the bottom. And this is some really nasty wet and dry. It did cost me £1 for like 8 sheets. To the point of, I wish I didn't buy it. That's nasty stuff. But I also have some Scotch-Brite nearby, because I have it. And of course you have to do the bottom as well. Of course be bloody careful doing this, because I wasn't then. And I wasn't then either. And then go to a smoother piece. This is just to finish it off so it's not as rough. That's that. Give it a wipe down. And there we go, one more valve with no carbon on it. You might say, what's the point? Well, when you're rebuilding it, well, obviously I said about fuel flow, but also when you're rebuilding, you really should be lapping these in. I'll show you that probably next. So yeah, you're best having a clean one, especially on the bottom, because if you want your lapping tool to get a nice seal on there, because it's a suction cup, you need it to be smooth. So that's 2 I've done now, and I've got another 6 in exhaust to do. Exhaust will be your worst, obviously, and 8 inlets, but they're not too bad. I'll probably just hit them with the with the 1200 wet and dry, and I'm done with it. So that's it for now. See you later.
Right guys, so I'm having to do a voiceover because the camera I was using has a terrible microphone. So you've just watched the me cleaning the valves. What I'm now going to do is actually prep up the head for reseating the valves. What you might be able to see is that I've numbered them 1 to 8 just for the sake of us, to make sure I don't get it right, get it wrong. I've also put an I and an E, which is inlet and exhaust, once again, just for the sake of it. I had the pen in my hand. So what I'm about to do is get, I call it a Dremel. It's not a Dremel, it's a Como drill, that one. It's got a brass wheel in it, round brush. I'm just going to clean the surfaces up of any carbon that might be sitting on the valve seats. There we go. I'm talking about it being a brass one because I was wittering about some other rubbish and I can't remember what the hell I said. So I'm really sorry about having to do it this way. Should put some background music on, I think. I might do that. So I'm just doing it in small circles, as you can see. The reason for that is I want this, if it makes a scratch, I want it to go around it. I don't want it to lead from the top to the bottom, because if I do, it will really affect the seating and could leak. It's not likely, it's a brass brush, it's soft. I'm being very light with that. I'm just kind of scraping the surface, as it were. So that's all of them clean now. What am I talking about? I have no idea what I'm talking about. For some reason, some of the valves were a bit sticky. It's not a problem because it's just at the edge. Now, what I bought was, because I keep losing tools or they're broken and stuff like that, I needed some new paste, so it came with the valve stick. Unfortunately, it was a bit big, as I'm showing you there. Luckily, there are a lot of engineering shops around me, so I went down to an engineer shop. I'm just showing how large that is. I went down the engineer shop and he happened to have the exact tool, the perfect one I needed. Also, I thought, I do use it for the first 2 valves and I got sick of it because they're bloody useless are the small ones. So you can see it's the right size. Wittering about God knows what. I maybe should have put my headphones on so I could hear myself. So I can't remember the name of that. V something. That's just a fine paste, because all the valves that are going in are the exact valves that came out of the exact ports. I know they're pretty close. I'm just doing it for the sake of cleaning up any scratches and making sure the seat as well as possible. So just putting a liberal amount of valve grinding paste on. And getting a bit of kitchen towel, because obviously you don't want that paste all over the stem and everywhere else. You need to clean it out at the end. So all you do, shove it in, take your hands and give it a switch. Think like trying to light a fire if you were ever in Scouts. Or Girl Guides, we've got to involve everyone now, haven't we? Just putting a bit of light pressure on. You'll actually feel it kind of grinding away, and then it'll go smooth. What I do say later on, I'll just say it now, is every couple of twists I tend to take it out and put it back in again, and then it brings some more paste back into the area. Over time you'll learn what you're feeling for. You can see I'm already sliding off, I'm getting pissed off with it. It gets worse. What I'm saying here is about when you're actually doing this, you want to keep that stick as level to in line with the valve stem, and just keep doing a bit of that. Obviously I'm popping it back out just to have a look and give it a clean. because you don't want any of that paste. What I eventually do is just do all of them, then I clean it up later, just to make life easier. But I wanted to show this. It's good practice to do it all at once, like the clean as well, but I had to move to the other side of the bloody house to go and put them on a piece of paper with numbers on. I've got a piece of paper in the other room, listed 1 to 8, and then when I pull this all apart, I put all the valves from valves 1 go on number 1, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Because you need to make sure you keep them separate. So you can see there, I'm getting more and more pissed off with that blooming tool. They are useless in a way. I will show you a trick in a minute. I probably should go and get my headphones so I can hear what I'm saying, because I can't remember. This was 3 hours ago I did this. 4 hours ago even. So anyhow, that's 1. I've shown you 1. You should be able to do all 16, or however many you've got in your engine. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm just going to do all the inlet valves, because they're the larger valve, so the tool works perfect for them. And as you can see there, I'm lifting it up every so often. That's just to bring the grinding paste back into the gap, and you'll actually feel a grind and it'll go smooth. That's pretty much where it's pushing everything out, because it is smooth in there. They are pretty good valve seats then. If they were too bad, I'd have to have them machined out, new ones pressed in and cut, and new valves and everything. And it's a ball ache, and it's bloody expensive. So you can see I'm just, every few twists I take it out, stick it back in again. If I can hear what I'm saying. I think I said earlier about making sure all your valves are marked. So what I do is, when I say, what was that one, E5? Yeah, E5. So say I was going to do exhaust valve 5. Hang on. If I'm holding E5, which one am I bloody putting in? I've put the wrong valve in the wrong hole. Shit. Right, that's pissed me off. But anyhow, they're all seated, they'll all be fine. So, I was saying about that small tool being useless. One of the tricks that I do is I get a piece of rubber tube that's actually airline from a fish shop, an aquarium. I use it for doing brakes. What I'm doing there, I've just stuck it onto the end of the valve seal, the valve stem, and as you can see, I'm just doing the reverse. I'm pulling away instead of pushing down. It does the same thing. Is it as doable? Yeah, there's a bit of twist in the hose, obviously, but it works. It still works. So there you can see what I'm doing a bit better. I will get myself another camera, I think. I can't afford an expensive one, but I'll come up with something with that I can plug an extra mic on, and I can see the blooming screen. That's half the problem. Still wittering on. Okay, so everything has now been ground in, or lapped, however you want to word it. So all I'm going to do is take every single one out and clean up the stems. Them exhaust valves were a pain in the arse just because they were small. So all I'm doing is wiping off as much as I can from the tops now. There's obviously still some underneath. What the hell am I wittering on about? Probably saying that leaving them all in probably isn't the right way to do it, but it's the way I do it, and it's worked for me for years, and it stops me getting mixed up when I have to travel stuff across the house. If normally I would have a piece of wood next to me with a load of holes drilled in it, marked up that way, or a piece of cardboard, but I didn't have it, so this is the way I'm doing it. Okay, so what am I doing here? I've gone back to doing something. Oh, it's the same fucking clip. I've loaded the same clip twice.
11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
So obviously I've got the valves out. I'm just giving it a clean, starting off with a wet cloth. Trying to get as much of the shit out as I can. Because the last thing you want is grinding paste in your combustion chamber or on your valve stems or anything like that. It shreds. It will wear out over time, but you don't want it there at all. So that's just a bit of carb cleaner for those that follow my Instagram. Very flammable stuff. Not the best of cloths to be using for that, but there was a shortage. And that is pretty much it. So sorry that the sound has had to be a voiceover. It is what it is. I'll get something sorted. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you soon.